we're going to talk about defining the path. I'm getting ready to plan a trip to Glacier National Park. Amazing, beautiful, dangerous. If you just take your day pack and head out for a couple days to the backcountry, that's a bad idea. In fact, you have to check in at the ranger station. And I'm pretty sure they ask you questions like, do you know we have the most grizzly bears than any national park in the 48 contiguous states? And if you go, or I never thought about that before, I'm pretty sure they don't let you go. Because if you don't have your path defined, it's dangerous for you. So we're going to define our path. We're going to know where we're going. We're going to know how we're going to get there, how long it takes, what supplies we need. We're probably going to need more supplies than we actually need. We're going to define that path very clearly because we want to be safe, we want to know where we're going, and we want to have a good time on the way because other things have been taken care of. You need to do the same thing for your staff with a 3-year plan. Have you defined your path? Welcome to PBL Simplified for Leaders, where we take your vision off the paper and bring it into your school. I'm going to distill leadership ideas from education, sports, and business so that you can up your leadership game and be the leader your building needs you to be. And today we're talking about defining your path. We're talking about a 3-year vision. You've written it down, but what are the goalposts that you're going to have in between so your people know where it is you're going so that they feel safe, right? It's not like Glacier National Park safe. They're not worried about grizzly bears, but they are worried about their day-to-day lives. Can they see it? Can they get there? Will they be supported? And it needs to be yes, 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 and yes. So they're ready to follow you. So I liked 3 years because if you start getting beyond that, it's hard for people to see that, right? If you say, I've got this 10-year vision, it's hard to mark out those goalposts and be accurate. And even within 3 years, I want to give you some freedom to say after year 1 or 2, hey, this isn't really where I thought we would be. You can make some course adjustments. But really, people want to follow your vision for 3 years and they want to see it. So here are the main guideposts that you want to hit while you're defining your path. The first is you want to train your staff to expert. Have you ever had a staff member go to a conference and then they come back and say, this was so good, I want everybody to learn it? And you're like, oh, okay, that sounds great. Let's teach everybody. How does that eventually go when somebody says, well, what does this look like with our struggling learners? What does this look like with high ability? And your staff member who's excited, and rightfully so, because there's a lot of potential in this idea, they're not an expert in it. They listen to an hour from an expert at a conference. They're not an expert yet. You need to train your people to expert. That goes for project-based learning. It goes for PLCs. Whatever your initiative is, and you shouldn't have 48 of them, you should have a couple of core initiatives that you really buy into as a leader, and your staff will follow you. And you need to have local experts. We say the same thing at Magnify Learning. We want to train you to where your people are PBL certified. You have your own experts. I don't want you to rely on us forever to be experts. Outside experts are really important in some cases. You need to have trained experts on your staff. And that's experts with an S. You need to have multiple experts. The next thing that you need to do is you need to be able to build. You need to be able to build these qualities internally within your staff. You want to build on this work. So you've got examples of your own of project-based learning working in your classrooms. You've got examples where teachers have made big changes in their mindsets. You've got those to show. And then you want to build externally as well. You want to bring in community partners so that your external partners see you differently. They say, man, when you walk into this school, things are different. And you start to get some newspaper articles out there, some online articles, really just when people are at Rotary or they're at the soccer game, the football game, they're talking about your school differently because you've built some external stories. The third guidepost that you're going to want to hit is you want to connect your people to this work. Now, you're going to connect with them in person within your school building, but you also can go take a tour, go see another PBL school in action. Yes, you can show that it works, but you also want to connect your people to people doing the work. It's important that they've got relationships within project-based learning that they can share ideas with so they don't feel like they're an island. They feel like they're supported by you, the leader, but also they're not alone. There are people out there doing this. You can also connect your people online. This isn't quite as strong as in person, we know that, but you can have multiple connections. Like maybe it's on Twitter, but really I would suggest an online community, which is why we've created an online community with Magnify Learning. You can get on the wait list if you look in the description below. And once you're in there, we've got different levels. You can connect your new PBLers into a new PBLer track, all the way to your advanced veterans. They have a place. Those people you trained to expert, remember that level, that guidepost? The ones you've trained to expert have a place to think and innovate and be pushed. They need support as well, and they need someone to connect to. So you do that in person and you do that online. The next guidepost you're going to want to hit is to innovate. You want to create your own innovations within your school. So yes, you're going to take what we've taught you in a Magnify Learning workshop. You're going to look at our coaching that we've provided over the years, but now you should start innovating within your own system so that you're creating customized solutions for that dissonance that's in your building. Once you hit this stage of innovation, it's really a pretty neat situation, because now as a new idea comes up, you can collaborate with those people. You've built some things internally, externally. Now you can start to create those ideas, and now you're sharing these ideas that your people have innovated. And that's an exciting piece. It starts to build up the expertise in your building. When other schools are now visiting you to say, what is it that you're doing that's really working? Once you start sharing that, the expertise starts to flow and the confidence begins to flow out of your staff in your building. So when you define the path, you're going to figure out, how do I train my people to be experts? How do I build systems internally and externally, build those stories? How do we connect people in person and online? And then how do you start to innovate so that you're the ones that are now pushing the work? And if you start to build a plan with those guideposts, those are some things that are exciting for people to follow. Remember, we all want to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. And if you can show that clearly over the next 3 years, you'll start to build some grassroots momentum so that you can truly lead. As you do that, you'll see that you engage your learners, you tackle boredom, and you transform your classrooms. Go lead inspired.